Hello everyone, and welcome to this flipped lesson on how to find angle measurement using a protractor and knowledge about angle types. So we're going to briefly talk about a protractor. It should be a review, and then we're going to go into different angle types and how we can find angle measurement without a protractor. Now, before we get started, you need to make sure you have your notes. So there's angle types and measurement notes. They were provided in class, and they should be in Google Classroom. So what they look like, real quick, is this. So this is what you should have. Okay. Some of it you have to fill out, and some of it you don't. And some of it we're not going to be able to fill out during the course of this video because we need a protractor. If you have one and you want to fill it out, great. If not, it's okay. You can wait till you come to class. Okay. All right. So on your note sheet first, it talks about the different angle types. So we have our right angle that kind of looks like almost like an L there in that picture. It measures exactly 90 degrees. Then you have your straight angle, which is exactly 180 degrees. It looks like a straight line or a line with the arrows on the end. Okay. Acute angle is smaller or acute than 90 degrees. The obtuse is obese or big, larger than 90 degrees. I know my picture's blocking some of it, but that's okay. You can have it on your note sheet. So go ahead and draw one of each of those. Just free draw with your hand on your note sheet. So you can pause this video and do that. Okay, and when you're done, what I would like you to do is, before you move on, just to make sure that you're watching this video, send me an email with an example of an angle that is larger than 90 degrees. So, for example, 120 degree angle. Okay? So here's my acute. Here's my obtuse. Here's my right. And here's my straight. Okay? So measuring and drawing angles with a protractor. So this should all be really review. If you have one at home, you can get it out. If you don't, it's okay. We'll look at them in class. So protractors have two sets of numbers. Here's mine. It's going to look kind of small on the screen. So there's one going this way and then one going in the opposite direction. Okay? So whenever you look at a line, there's always a smaller and a bigger number. So if the angle is obtuse or larger than 90, you're going to use a larger number. If it's acute and less than 90, you're going to use the smaller. So in order to do this, you would, on this protractor, the vertex of the angle would go here with the line lining up with the line that's on here. And then wherever the angle line passes through is what you're going to read. So now here's one you can actually see on the screen. There's two sets of numbers going in opposite directions. It says be careful, and when in doubt, ask yourself, is it bigger or smaller than 90? So from here to here, we're reading 110 degrees, but from here to here, we're only reading the 70 degree mark. Okay, both of them are lined up at the vertex. Okay, so it all depends on which one we're looking at, which angle we're looking at. So it says use your protractor to measure the angles and draw angles on your note sheet. I know you might not have one. If you have one, you can pause the video and do that. But if you don't, just save it for class the next time we're in class. Okay? So you would use the smaller of the two numbers for acute, larger for obtuse. And here's the ones that are on your sheet. There's an acute, there's an obtuse, and what I got when I measured these, and we'll see if you get the same either in class or if you're doing it at home. 40 degrees for acute and 120 degrees for the obtuse one that's on here. So once you have a protractor, or if you have one, and you drew these already, this is what you should have got, something similar to this. If not, like I said, you'll draw it in class. So the acute one looks like this. This is the measurement from here to here, 75 degrees, 75. Obtuse, their vertex is right here, so we're looking at from here to here, 160 degrees, and right, which is right in the middle, and you can actually look at this one going from this direction or this direction. I know my picture's blocking it a little bit, but you can see this side. So either direction you can read this one. Okay. So next we're going to talk about how to find these measurements without using a protractor. So how many is a pair? 2. If you have a pair of something, a pair of shoes, a pair of headphones. Okay. So what are different types of angles? Pairs of angles. Complementary, supplementary, adjacent, and vertical. So we'll start with complementary. Complementary starts with C. By adding a straight line to the C, boop, right there, we can make it a 9. And if we add a 0 to the end, it makes the number 90. This is on your note sheet. So complementary angles, 2 angles that add together to equal exactly 90 degrees. Tip, complementary angles make a corner, and they do. And whenever you see this symbol, it looks like a box, this means 90 degrees. So this one's 65, this one's 25, they add up to 90 degrees. So here I did some modeling for you just to show you some ways to solve for x here. We know that these are 90, this one's 29, so if we set them equal to 90, we can do a one-step very simple equation, subtraction on both sides, and find that our x is 61. And I realize we may be able to do this in our head too, but for right now I'm just showing you the algebraic way to think about it. Same thing with this one, very simple subtraction, and y is 53 degrees. Supplementary angles. So supplementary starts with an S. By connecting the S, we can make it an 8, like this. Add our 1 and our 0 to make it 180. So 2 angles that add together to equal exactly 180. And the tip is supplementary angles make a straight line. Now we have a straight line, you can think of it as supplementary. 135 plus 45 is 180. So here's supplementary angles modeled. Set it up as a one-step equation again, but this time we're setting it equal to 180. We solve for B by subtracting 118, and B is equal to 62 degrees. Same thing with this one. Set it up as a one-step equation with equal to 180. Solve for A, and A is equal to 112 degrees. So adjacent angles. This symbol means angle. It looks a lot like the less than symbol, but it's actually not because it goes straight here, whereas the less than symbol would kind of curve down a little bit more. The arches, if you ever see arches and angles, like on your paper, it means that the angles are the same measure. So when you have a 2 here and 1 here, that means these are not the same measure. But these are adjacent because they're next to each other and they share this side. So again, if you can't see the picture, look at your note sheet, it's on there. They share this side. So angle A and angle B, which you can name with angles with a single letter, they are adjacent. So here we got a lot going on. So name 2 angles adjacent to BAF. So you can also use 3 letters to name angles. BAF. So which ones are share a side to it? CAB and FAG. Now KAL. Also you can go backwards. LAK is the same angle as long as A is in the middle. So 2 adjacent ones are CAK and LAM. So another proof that you're watching this video, I want you to tell me the answer to number 3 and name 2 angles adjacent to JAM. So JAM. So 2 angles adjacent to JAM. JAG and LAM. I have the answer right on here. So message me what you think your answer is. So vertical angles. The dash symbol is used to represent the angles with equal measurements. So vertical angles are always equal. So this represents equal. They're vertical or opposite of one another. Same thing with this one. 2, 2, vertical or opposite of one another. So now we can find all these measurements by just knowing the measurement of this one angle. So how do we know what T is? T is vertical, so it's equal to 129. Now this is a supplementary angle because it's a straight line. So how would we find E? Let's look at that algebraically. E and T are supplements, so 129 plus E is equal to 180 because this is a straight line again. So if we solve for E, E is equal to 51 and F is equal to 51 because they are also vertical. So what about this one here? What do you think N might be? And what do you think F might be? So this is telling us F is 93. How do we know? Because this is a supplementary angle, straight line. So we subtracted and got that just like over here. So that means that U has to be 93 because they're vertical. And N has to be 87 because they're vertical. Okay, so that is the end of the video. To show me that you watched this video, a third little a thing in the email I want you to include. Tell me one thing that you learned, one thing you still have a question about, and one thing you'd like to know more about. Okay? And there were a couple other things you should include in that email as well. So if you watch the whole video, you'll know what they are. Okay? So I'll see you in class next time. Bye!